Two drunk assholes talking about whatever comes to mind. We present Filler with Jack Fike and Rob Harper. Filler is Jack and my insane rambling. In this episode, we start off talking about the new RoboCop trailer, and then go off on a massive tangent. And unlike most fillers, we're pretty sober, so we have no excuses. We join our RoboCop review already in progress. My reaction was, why? Why bother?
Every time I saw a new star be foisted onto the screen, I was like, no. And it got worse. Oh,
and it's stupid thing. It reminds me of one of those cheesy Japanese, like, remember Guyver, the movie Guyver, and it's just like cheesy and not cool.
If he'd stepped the first thing, and I'd be like, okay, I guess so, like a black RoboCop, I suppose so.
But or if they actually made him black.
But the Michael Keaton that's good, but we got to make him black. Like it's like, no, okay, that's a.
We should make him more tactical. Make him black.
Yeah, okay, nice nod to the audience. We're all breaking the fourth wall here, but.
And why even bother making him silver in the first place?
Yeah, just like they can make. And that
why
reference.
Make him black in the second place?
And I just kept looking at going, no.
It looked so cheesy to me.
Every step of the way, I disagreed with the choice that I saw in the trailer.
Me too.
And that's just the trailer. When I'm thinking, no, you're going the wrong way.
We should verb that one up, because I think when that thing comes out, we'll both have the exact same reaction and be like, what? We'll rip it apart.
And the more I saw the family...
That seemed very fake.
In RoboCop, they touched on it.
But I love how RoboCop, they never showed it until after he was a robot and he was remembering it, how good it was. Like, they never showed it being it.
But this is him getting all Frank Castle, where it's...
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of totally Punisher, especially when his car blew up. I'm like, that was very Punisher.
Okay, then we're on the same page.
It's
derivative, it's poor choices made by committee.
And they show a guy cop shot in the alleyway, and they're like, officer down. And then it's like, oh, but it's not him, it's the other. Oh, it's different.
M. Night Shyamalan's writing trailers now.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Like, I was just the whole time like, this is stupid.
Yeah, every time I saw...
And then they were like,
scene
let's make a plane that's, like, sure, in some other movie that'd be cool, but not in RoboCop.
And I thought, oh, did they make Ed 209 a drone to be
But they
timely?
show him, too, don't they show it to him?
Well, that's the thing. I thought, they made Ed 209 a drone, like, today, because...
drones, drones are evil.
Obama, the socialist, the commie from Kenya is using drones to kill Americans. Like, I thought that's where they were going. I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's a thing. If that's where they're going, I don't agree with it, but at least it's a direction. Oh, no, there's that 209. That plane is just a super plane. Like, it's just a throwaway at that point. Give me something to work with. Give me something. Show Detroit, literally film in today's Detroit.
Yeah, I don't know
walking
if they did
through
or not.
A suburb that is just overgrown, it's dilapidated. Like, the place is
But why bother?
Because
they did it.
Because RoboCop was a commentary of the 80s.
Even then, I don't think it's that much difference. Consumerism and...
Well, because no one can afford consumerism anymore. Like, it's
maybe more militarism and...
Or just, like, economic slump...
That's true. It's kind of the opposite in RoboCop, where the rich had like these supercars and super cool shit.
Everything was like
and even the police. That's true. I guess it would be the opposite. It was more like because the police were privatized
and they had that 80s mentality.
But it did kind of have the rich versus poor thing going on still, though. It was almost like the 99%er kind of thing going on.
It did
in the original RoboCop.
But this would be the exact opposite. No one's got any money.
But the rich still have money.
Yeah, but there's always going to be rich, and there's always going to be...
I don't know what they're kind of... But my point is, I don't know what they're trying to say with this movie,
They're not. Which is why I
it's just an action movie, you think?
Yeah. It's a cash grab.
Yeah.
It's a cash grab designed to, throw enough stars at a piss-poor script with no direction and just hope.
Do you listen to Smodcast anymore?
No.
Oh, because the newest one had... some actor who's trying to make a movie, and the movie's all about how sequels have, like, it takes place in the future, and about how sequels have ruined society, where there's no originality in anything anymore. It's because the movie's started with the movies, but it moved into everything. So everything's a remake. So the cars are just like the 70s cars come back out, just remade, and that's the whole thing. It was pretty much commentary and remakes. How it's just nobody has an original thought in their fucking head anymore.
So in 1 minute, you just told me about a movie that had a premise, had a theme, and had something that
commentary
I could look forward to.
It's not really neat. Like, it's gonna be super low budget. He's doing it on Kickstarter now, and it's not gonna be good, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I just watched what seemed like a 45-minute long trailer for RoboCop, and I couldn't. What you just said in 2 minutes, they couldn't get across.
Yeah.
They could not get across.
Well, but
why?
I don't think they were trying to. That's what I mean. I don't think that movie had anything. But so many people are all about it. I'm like,
who's all about it?
I don't know. I keep hearing good things.
I would like to see those people and wipe the drool from their chin.
I know.
Maybe
Weird. Like,
maybe,
everybody's like, every time I see a poster, like, oh, look at it, look how cool it is. It doesn't look cool at all to me. It looks like a step backwards. It looks like it reminds me of how bad Pacific Rim could have been, where it could have been like super cheesy robot movie. This is like super cheesy guy in suit movie.
I don't know if it's a step anywhere. It's not a lateral move because that means it's equal to RoboCop, and it's not a step back.
I think it's a step back
because
I think it looks like a B movie.
It has to be relevant.
What it looks
I
like,
don't know if it's going to be relevant.
It looks like to me, it looks like a Asylum redid RoboCop. Like they mockumentary or what is it called?
Mockbuster did
RoboCop. That's what it looks like to me.
I think it'll come and go with so little fanfare that it's not even a step.
I hope so. I hope that it fails terribly so people don't remake other things. Like, I don't mind sequels.
That's what I was just going to say. If it's done properly, I don't mind.
Like, if it's like, oh, we did RoboCop and this is like a progression from it, I don't mind that. Like that Blade Runner sequel, I'm kind of interested to see it. But I would never want to see a Blade Runner remake. Like, that's different, like.
Yeah.
Why do a remake when you can do a sequel? If you want to have the same IP, I'm fine. I understand you want brand recognition. Just do it like they did with The Thing, and they did with what else they do? They did the Thing was a prequel, but they didn't remake The Thing. They did a prequel to it, where it just gets same name recognition, same everything, but for the fans, it was still not the same story.
And if you're going to remake a movie, update it, make it worthwhile. Don't waste their time and energy. Don't.
I don't think you need to remake any movie that's made since, like, probably early 70s.
But
then.
I'm not saying remake Gone with the Wind. I'm saying...
But you could do something like that, I
remake...
guess. But special effects movies, like, you could do, like... The Thing was a remake. The original Thing was a remake from a shitty... But the original movie was just, like, a cheesy... But you could do, like, a Twilight Zone episodes in the movies kind of thing, remaking that way, updating them, expanding, telling more of the story kind of thing, I guess. But
some stories are
make
worth
it different,
introducing to the new generation.
But that's why I think that's a problem when they're thinking is that they're thinking like it's 1980 where there wasn't VHSs. So like all these kids can watch those movies, and maybe in black and white might be a barrier to entry. But I don't even think that's true anymore. With the shitty quality of YouTube, I don't think kids care about like visuals as much as story now, or entertainment. Not even story, just they want to be entertained. Like they could be. They don't care if it's grainy and shitty or if it's crystal clear, as long as it entertains them.
I think you hit the nail around the head. Barrier to entry is the perfect phrase, because you do when you turn on a movie, and because movies used to be. There was no quick cuts.
Slow. Like especially 40s, they're pretty slow.
It's two people talking and whatever, and the direction's probably nice and it's framed nicely. They've probably got a little.
But it's usually pretty simple. There's not like crazy angles or
a little background action, a little foreground action, a little coming into frame, moving in, moving out. But at no point is it.
There's no dynamism. It's not dynamic.
Well then,
I was Porky Pig there. But anyways, they don't have dynamic. It's not fast cuts. It's a little slow for today's youth, especially
the kids today.
Even me. There's some movies that are like the story's good, but it's a little slow telling the story.
Kids that were reared on Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z, where they're not looking for a story.
Yeah,
they don't want a story.
They want, but both those things have story.
Yeah, but it's spread over 60 episodes.
That's right. That's what I mean.
Of one story over 60 episodes where all you're seeing is flashes of light.
It's much more quick cuts.
Just like, hey, I'm entertaining you. Hey, look, I'm still entertaining you. Oh. Hey,
you can
look,
never get away with a slow. Well, not with a kids. Not a movie that you want every audience to watch. Like, I'm sure Gravity, that new movie Gravity, is going to be very slow. But it'll be entertaining.
Those kids that are accustomed to that now, they like the YouTube. They like watching someone, and the edits are done where it's not like someone sitting there talking. It's edit to this, edit to that. Oh, that's funny. Edit to this, edit to that.
It is quick cuts. The attention span of today's everyone is so reduced, and it's caused by TV and it's everything. It's just made to look at. There's cartoons now that are 10 minutes long. A full episode of a cartoon is 10 minutes long now. That's ridiculous.
I can enjoy that.
Well, it's the difference between enjoyment. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you couldn't write a full half-hour episode.
Yeah, I guess so.
Even the Robot Chicken, things like that. Like, Robot Chicken is all, dit.
That's...
I think that's why Saturday Night Live is failing. It's sketches, but the sketches go on too long. If it was quicker sketches, I think more kids would enjoy it. The thing is, those sketches are too long.
Yeah.
And then, they might have the whole premise. We all know that their sketches were always too long.
They were.
But even now, I think if you did them even shorter, they would be even more success. Like, if it was just boom, 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 boom. But that's why it's failing, is nobody watches it, because kids, they don't want to sit through 5 minutes of a sketch. They want a minute or 2 minutes of a sketch.
Saturday Night Live has been failing for 20 years, and I don't know...
Different reasons for why it's failing before.
It fails, but not enough.
It always failed for us because of long sketches.
That time slot's not... And you know what? I didn't watch Saturday Night Live because I didn't like who was on it in my youth and in my formative years, like in my 20s, and even... And look back, I always thought, the people on it were shit, but
all those people went on to be huge movie stars.
Will Ferrell,
or tons of them.
Yeah,
Mike Myers, Dana Carvey, all these people. They went on to huge movie careers, but
it wasn't.
It's just the writing, I think, was wrong. It was written like it was still in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah, and it wasn't even the writing so much as then they started going stretch it out, padded a bit. Why? Because
we don't want to write that many episodes. Yeah.
We need a 5-minute block, and that's funny.
Because it's almost always you'd watch Saturday Night Live, and the first 2 minutes you're like, oh, that's funny, that's funny. Okay, we get it. Yeah. Okay, stop now. And then you're like, oh my god, I can't believe this is still going on.
And then next week you tune in, and it's the same characters, same thing, yeah. And they're doing it again. And it's like, okay, I like...
It would be fine if it was really short. That's like Portlandia.
Yeah.
Portlandia keeps the length pretty low in their little sketches, and it's never... You never get to the point... And they're always different. And you never get to a point where you're like, okay, I don't want to watch this anymore. Go on to the next thing. Where Saturday Night Live, almost every sketch is like that. You're never like, oh, I want more of that. Like, even the hilarious ones that are, famous, like the more cowbell and things. You got that, in 1 minute, you got that joke. And they went on for 5 minutes.
Right.
Like, even by the end, you're like, okay, I get it.
The ones you enjoy, and you're like, okay, I'm not done with it. When you're usually done with it, you are most definitely done with it by the time that ends. Even the classics.
But a lot of those ones are also classics because the crew, the other people started cracking up. And
yeah. Like
the one with the hot tub with Drew Barrymore.
I've never seen it.
Oh my god, it's hilarious. Drew Barrymore and Will Ferrell and the one really short, not very good looking.
Bug-eyed one?
Yeah. Will Ferrell and her and the person were they were playing a couple who were college professors, but then they're in the hot tub, and they had that little weird cadence to their voice, and then Drew Barrymore was another friend of theirs, and then what's his name with the talk show? Not Jimmy Kimmel, the other
Fallon.
Yeah, he was in it as just the regular guy who just wanted to take a hot tub in this hotel. So he sits in there, and then they start talking to him, and they're eating food and all over each other, and and Will Ferrell's mustache and beard are falling off, and then Drew Barrymore gets in, and she's cracking up, but she's trying to hit on Fallon, and oh my god, it's one of the funniest sketches ever. But it's only funny because they're cracking up.
You're laughing with them.
Oh yeah, because
they're
they
having
realize
fun, so you
everything's
have
falling
fun.
apart, And Will Ferrell must be ad-libbing everything because the one girl with him is just like, she's buried her head in his chest and she's shaking from laughter and she's trying to be serious.
See, that's funny.
Yeah,
That's funny.
That's why that was funny.
But to see Jamie Foxx get on there and just spout racism for an hour and all the sketches not funny and
Yeah,
everyone,
we watched that not too long. Yeah.
Oh, it was-
I was embarrassed for Jamie Foxx.
I was embarrassed for the cast, the crew. I was embarrassed for myself for watching it. And quite frankly, I don't know why. Because it's Jamie Foxx. If you had put a white guy
Oh, it would have been
as
ridiculous. It would have been that show would have been off the air.
Oh yeah. Lauren Michaels would be in court right now explaining how that got.
Oh yeah,
on there.
they'd been fine. They would have been. Oh yeah, crazy.
So you had a talk show with a game show with blacks that don't know how to tell whites apart. Funny. The premise could have worked. Oh yeah, we were thinking, but it didn't.
It didn't because it went on way too long again, and the two people that were very similar. The two people that were, remember, it was like two guys that were like, even I had a hard time telling them apart.
And
If
then
they'd done that, like it should have been like Carrot Top and someone else, so ridiculously different that it was a ridiculous premise.
no, because at the end, then when the big reveal was that blacks are just stupid, and
That was weird.
even when the guy said I'm so and so, and they still couldn't get
Yeah.
it was like, okay, no, it's.
Well, that's what I mean. The whole premise was flawed.
But if they looked similar and they didn't just get it because they looked the
They
same,
look so similar.
a commentary on like, oh well,
Yeah, but they were trying to be a
stereotypes.
commentary on how stupid it is to think all black people look alike or Asians or whatever.
which has a funny
But
twist
but they did it wrong.
until it's like, well, I still can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
Well, I just said it. I'm this guy. Nope, I don't
They
know.
they made it racist when they were trying to make
Yeah.
fun of racists. It was crazy.
Okay, so instead of like a commentary on
But
racism,
once again, it's how do these black actors not go, Jesus, this is wrong?
it was a minstrel show from start to finish, and
Yeah, but a minstrel show is done with white people.
these are people that must be white on the inside and
I
don't
know.
have any
That's what I mean. They have no
shame
connection with.
or
Yeah.
Like I would think their parents are like, I can't watch this.
Yeah, or someone who, or anybody who is not privileged, I guess, or even, but even then,
I don't understand.
I don't understand it. Like,
Oh, it was uncomfortable for me.
yeah, because that was really ridiculous. I was like, oh my god. There was a few others that were just, wasn't he played a pimp or something at one point, and it was a game show, wasn't it? A pimp game show or something?
It was a blur of racism and
yeah.
unfunny.
It was like stereotypes. It's like, I understand like Blazing Saddles when you show the stereotype over and over and over again to make it stupid and make it like, oh yeah, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Or like they used the N-word and they just made the stereotype so ridiculous that you're like, okay, I get it, you know.
Yeah.
This was the opposite, where it's just like, no, you're just reinforcing the stereotypes.
It's not funny because you're putting a spotlight on it and going, isn't it silly people think like that?
Yeah.
You're putting a spotlight and you're going, hey,
These people are dumb.
these people are pimps and retards,
Yeah.
and it's
It was crazy, and it was all played like it'd almost be more like forgiving if it was like people in blackface, because then at least you'd be like,
wow.
I understand.
I can't believe you went there. You
No,
have
but
a
I
point, but I
Yeah,
can't
but
believe
it
you
really
went
is
there.
true because you'd understand. Okay, I understand why these people didn't get it. When you're black and you're doing this stuff, you should be like, no, I refuse.
Have some,
Have some integrity, or have some, not even a thought to it, or like you say, like they must not have any connection to what this actually means, like, right?
I don't know.
Or they got convinced, like the person smooth talked to him.
Jamie Foxx wants you to do this, so either you're in the sketch or you're not. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, why
Who
would
knows?
Jamie Foxx want to do it? That's my point.
Do you want to be around next season?
Well, yeah, I can understand
Well,
the
then
big
get
players.
out
I'm talking
there.
about Jamie Foxx. Why would Jamie Foxx do it?
Just get out there, get your best
Was
Negro on.
that was
and-
done after, that was to promote Django Unchained, right?
Yeah.
So even then, he should even be more, because that was the whole point of Django Unchained too. You should be even more like connected to that.
Half of Inglourious Bastards was excellent, and I'm back on the Tarantino fandom because of that.
I think it's his best movie.
Django Unchained was pretty good. I
It's
enjoyed
good.
it.
Only because of what's his name, the German guy. He's crazy good actor.
He's an excellent actor, but
I wish it was in Jamie. I hate Jamie Foxx. I think he's terrible.
I think he played that part well.
Yeah, he was good in that movie, but generally I don't like
But
him.
in general, he's not a good actor.
Like him as Electro in the new Spider-Man movie is going to be terrible.
Have you seen the pictures for it?
Yeah, it looks terrible. He looks like Mr. Freeze.
I thought it was a joke when I.
It almost looks like. Yeah, it looks
I'm like, how is he? I know they have to do the costume
I
way
assume that
ahead
it's
of
going to
time.
be like special effect all up, but still.
Like him just walking around with lightning, just
Yeah. But still, why would you make him look like he's like all blue and like he looks frozen? Doesn't he look frozen? They were trying to do electric blue, but it looks cold blue.
It
like,
looks very cold blue. It
it
doesn't.
looks like Mr. Freeze, like a black Mr. Freeze.
And the pictures I saw was Spider-Man facing Electro, like one
Oh, I never
in,
saw it.
in a, like a teaser poster. I'm like, no, they'll change that because no one's gonna.
Well, I never even saw that. I just saw set photos. I never saw the finished product. Like,
And I've seen the
that's
design
terrible.
sketches.
And have you seen the Rhino too? He looked pretty.
Now,
Why would you choose that actor?
because the Rhino is a scientist who
Was he? I thought he was just a big thug.
they've retconned
Have they? Oh,
him. He's like a him and Peter Parker kind of.
Oh, I didn't know that. Because I think in the old comics, he was always just a big thug in a Rhino uniform.
Yeah, like that's what he used to be, and I can.
I didn't know that they in like Ultimate Comics or something they made him into a.
And Paul Giamatti will play a fantastic scientist
Oh, he's
who then
a good actor.
gets that
But it's just
whatever lab accident they have him transform into, and it's just going to be CGI at that point.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now, the thing is, when you see the stills of the Avenger movies and stuff, Captain America's uniform, you go, that's going to look terrible. That's going to look awful.
I guess so. Yeah.
You see Thor, and it's like that's a joke.
I don't know though. I think even them they looked better than these though.
That looks like a Halloween costume done bad. When you get the lighting, the setting, all the post production, everything, it looks dynamite. And I can give the benefit of the doubt.
Those look better than Spider-Man.
I can give the benefit of the doubt to them, but
I never saw Amazing Spider-Man, so I can't say much. I never watched it. You told me not to, so I never did.
I fell asleep during
Yeah.
the climactic battles. It was an embarrassment.
Spider-Man is like Superman to me. He's not in any interest to me. I have no interest in Spider-Man.
Sam Raimi's second Spider-Man could have led into a franchise if they hadn't have like decided
Screwed him around and then
yeah, all the actors didn't want to come back for a third because of what they were doing to them. Sam
so
Raimi
none of
didn't
them
want
put any effort into the third one.
didn't want to be back. I'm sure I haven't heard for a fact, but I'm sure the writers, everyone involved who was like the second one could have led into a nice third, make a trilogy. The studio was just being douche nozzles, and then
Making
that
them
was it.
use Venom because he's such a big character, and making them put Sandman in. Like if it was just a Sandman movie, third one would be a good movie. Sandman was really good in that movie,
Yeah, I like that.
but
that
Venom was
actor.
horrible.
And then my buddy I worked with, he went and saw it in the theater. He came back the next day. He was like, "There's a funeral scene," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." He goes, the whole audience laughed. I said,
Really?
and this was target audience people. They
First night. Yeah.
he took his wife there, and they went out because they wanted to see the Spider-Man movie because the first two had built up, and they wanted to see the end. And he said, "These are like the people who you're making the film for. This isn't the third weekend. People are like, what do you want to do? Go to the movies? What's playing? Oh, I don't know. Let's go watch the Spider-Man. You know, like it's."
They knew what they were getting into,
and he said people were laughing at where they weren't
it
supposed
was
to.
just so ridiculous.
It was. He said, the Peter Parker is
When he's trying to be evil.
when he's trying to be evil.
ridiculous.
He said it was an awful movie, and so I should have known going into this second movie with the lizard.
Yeah, but this movie
known.
was a reboot. Once again, though, it was just, hey, we got to tell his whole origin story again.
The director
Mark Webb.
did a good job. I'm going to
I
say
heard
that
he's a good director.
he's a good director, and Mr. Webb, if he has any hopes of longevity in the business or any pride in himself, he's going to distance himself. Go like, okay,
He did the second one, too, though. He's done the second one. Same director. I think, also, a lot of these guys know Spider-Man from, like, not the comics. They either read all the Ultimate comics, which a lot of these seem to be more based on the Ultimate comics, because it's easier to get into. They're probably like, oh, I could read 6,000 issues of Spider-Man.
60.
Oh, there's only like 60-something issues of Ultimate. I'll read that one.
yeah.
Not the same story. And even the Avengers was more Ultimate Adventures than the Ultimates more than the... But even then, they kept enough. But
It was a
even
nice
so,
mix.
you knew that you could tell the difference between someone who knows comic books, like Joss Whedon, or Mark Singer, those kind of people, they you can tell they like comic books. Where a difference is, what's his name who did Batman?
Zack Snyder.
Yeah, Zack Snyder, and like you can
Nolan.
tell the difference between people who don't
Yeah.
respect the. Obviously, Mark Webb didn't really. It seems like Snyder isn't big. Like he obviously didn't read too many Superman comics. He's having them snap people's necks and shit.
Yeah.
But you can tell the difference between someone who appreciates the actual where it's coming from.
Again, I'm hoping that first movie I didn't watch. I could sit through the first 10 minutes of that new Superman.
Superman,
Yeah, the
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel, and I didn't.
I didn't
The
even
aesthetics weren't working for me. The director wasn't working for me. Russell Crowe wasn't working for me. Nothing was working
Well, I
for me.
heard the first half an hour is just like there's no Superman. It's just Russell Crowe and
Okay,
it's all on his planet.
because I turned it off. I was like, I'm done. This is already awful.
I just once again, do you really need to do a Superman origin?
No, you
again?
don't. No, you don't.
Why? Like,
No.
Even I understand they skipped a lot and they showed a lot of flashbacks, but everybody knows Superman's origin. You don't have to do it again.
You can go to the deepest, darkest jungles of Africa, and there's people there worshiping a Coke bottle that fell out of an airplane in 1936, and you say, Clark Kent isn't going to go, Superman.
Oh yeah, like it's
It's
like obviously he's probably. I would think there's no disputing that he is the number one superhero around the world. Everybody knows Superman.
that Japanese soldier that had been on the island, and he had been doing one-man raids against Filipino villages because he thought the war was still on.
Yep.
When they finally got him back to Japan, he went, okay, so the new Superman movie, who's going to be the villain? Hopefully it's not Lex Luthor, because if he's doing some sort of real estate scam thing, I'm outie. I'm going back to the jungle. Like,
Sure.
that's...
Like,
you
so
don't need to.
everyone knows his origin. Why do it again? Just have it start right away. Him and Daily Planet. Set them all up. Set everybody. You have to introduce characters maybe just so you
Lois
know
Lane
who's
and
who.
him walking down the stairs of the Daily Planet.
Yep.
All of a sudden, Lois goes, "Oh my God, what's that? Oh, a shooting star.
Where'd Clark go?
Yeah, a shooting star, but it's broad daylight. That's not a star. That's a plane. How can you tell from here? I don't know. Good prescription glasses. Anyways, I gotta go.
That's a problem. with
There's a
Superman
plane, passenger plane.
Yeah, Superman is just.
He runs, tears off his shirt, and you're like, okay, that's Lois Lane because he said, "Hey, Lois,
Yeah.
that's Superman because he's now wearing his blue speedos and shooting up into the sky."
Like I don't care if you redo his uniform. Who cares? It looked fine.
Who cares?
That was not the problem with that movie.
Not at all. That's
And the actor looked fine, and like that's why there's probably hope for this new movie because I think all the set pieces are good. It was just the actual writing was shit.
And then he saves the plane. Oh, what happened? It's connected to this? Oh, maybe. I better do some investigative reporting because I'm an investigative reporter.
Well,
Next thing
they
you
don't
know,
have just like Batman. They don't know what it means to be a detective. They don't know what it means to be a reporter.
and he wasn't the greatest reporter, but at least Lois
Even
Lane.
so, like you not even report. Like just have him fly up there and see what the fuck's going on, or
And it's a bit derivative, but then Lois Lane gets on the tracks of something, and he's doing something else, and all of a sudden, where's Lois? I don't know. She went on this dangerous thing, and she's investigating this. Oh my God, she could be in trouble. Oh, she always gets out of those scrapes. Next thing you know, she's tied up in a basement somewhere.
all they have to do is go to one of the thousands of comic book storylines that have been written already and adapt it.
Yeah. Well, then that's the easy thing. That's where Hollywood.
Like there's much better writers than people in Hollywood
Yeah.
who've been writing these comic books.
Oh yeah. You can look at the already popular, established, and go, "That's what we're doing."
That's why I hate when they redo things. Why do they rewrite it? Just take it. It's a script already.
You have to pad it out because you have to make it a feature-length movie, but also
I don't-
the dialogue. You have to have the dialogue padded out a little bit to make for
Maybe a little
and
bit of backstory.
a
But
little bit of backstory, a little bit of
even that, Superman, you
establishing.
don't even need that. You can throw Superman into a thing. All of a sudden, there's a weird. I don't know. I can't. I read so little Superman. I can't even think of it. But hey, there's a boom tube just opened downtown. Darkseid walked out.
Boom! Who's that? You'll find out, bitch. He's busting the place
Or
up.
there's a weird tentacled asteroid in space, and it's sending down robots to, it's
Yep.
Brainiac. Like, it's just too easy. Like,
It is, and Hollywood loves to think they're better than everyone else. Like
that's the thing.
when they
For
adapt
sure.
the book. Well, we've obviously got to make it
Yeah,
Hollywood.
yeah.
Why do you have to make it Hollywood?
Why don't you just do exactly what the people wanted?
That has made millions.
The most successful movies, book to movie things, are ones that did it almost exactly.
The fans loved it. It made money.
Like the Harry Potter ones.
It's already done. All the
Harry Potter
work's
ones are
done.
pretty close to the books. Even the Hunger Games are a little bit off, but still close enough. They didn't change major story points. I hate when they. That's what always annoyed me about the X-Men cartoon in the '90s, which got everybody into comic books. Is that since I was already into comic books, I'd be like, no, that's not how the story went. Like, it always annoyed me that it was just slightly different. I understand you had to change things because they had to use Jubilee.
The roster had to be those people. And,
I understand that. But even so, like, why would you change things? Like, just keep it how it is. Why do you have to change things? Does it cost that much more to draw a different character? Like, I don't understood that. I guess it does. But I get, you got the Asian people that are drawing this stuff to redraw someone else.
Work harder! Work harder!
But I don't understand.
Americans need a new character.
Like Simpsons have billions of characters. Why? They have new characters all. Why does X-Men have to have the same 5 characters all?
Probably because the X-Men was probably written in cells that were hand drawn at the time. Simpsons now is by computer. They have the
maybe now. Yeah, do shows now have bigger rosters? Maybe
probably because
of computer animation
and better frame rate, better because I think it's just easier, faster, looks better.
Yeah, I don't know.
Remember the old Spider-Man cartoon where Spider-Man, Spider-Man? It was probably
those are better than all the Spider-Man movies ever made.
1 frame per minute. Yeah.
The storylines in those are way better than every single Spider-Man movie ever made.
And they're not even great. So
they're pretty good.
But they're not even great.
No, they're made in the 60s.
I think Hollywood thinks that they're so much better than everyone else.
Yeah.
That the people who write books are hacks. The people who write comic books are worse.
That especially because writing a book is way harder than writing comic books or writing.
Couple of nerds wrote something and put some panels together. We can do better than that. Let's get the committee together.
That's
was 2 writers.
Joss Whedon is good because he at least up until this new movie scares me a little bit because Avengers 2, if they are changing how Ultron is not made by Pym, that
depends how he does it. I have faith. I think
if it's not made by Pym, I think they did a mistake. Why change it?
Why change it? Yeah, I
does it cost that much to have just some dude be Hank Pym?
Especially at the end, they're making an Ant-Man movie. At the end of that, make him walk into a room.
They're going to mix him.
He doesn't even have to address Ultron. He has to walk into the room, take off the Ant-Man helmet. I'm done with this. This is bullshit. I'm sorry that it got that far.
I'm never going to be Ant-Man again. I'm still a scientist.
I knocked over that small building, and that kid was almost killed. I'm done.
Unlike Superman, who destroyed a whole city.
Well, yeah, that was just retardation. That was someone who doesn't even think as a human being. Never mind as a writer. But anyways, he puts the helmet down. You pan up from the helmet to in the background, and there's Ultron on a thing there.
With all the wires when they're hanging up, just his torso, like they always show in the picture.
Yeah, and him walking by, maybe tap Ultron on the head and go. Yeah, but if I get this done.
There'll be no need for superheroes if I can.
People like me causing all the havoc I did won't be unnecessary, and I think
I'll make a perfect person to defend you or to protect humanity.
Who will do a much better than I could ever do. Walks out, framed in the background, like he clicks off the light as he's leaving his lab. He's just framed in the doorway. Him just walking away, closes the door. That pans back over. You just see these 2 red eyes. Done.
Yeah.
You don't need to have the whole Ultron there, so that you have to build up.
I don't understand why it's so easy for us, and it's not like why couldn't they do that?
Because you have a committee of 60 guys going. Wait, no. How are the kids going to identify?
Yeah.
I need the demographic of 6 to 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
So how about you have a little robot? He comes in there, tweaky, tweaky, tweaky. Because I saw Buck Rogers, and you're like, okay, Bruce, you got it. We're gonna
That's something they could remake, Buck Rogers. I'd watch that. I watch the shit out of that. I love Buck Rogers. I love that show.
Done properly, yeah.
Like legitimately, like super sci-fi. Not like they redid
Flash Gordon for the
terrible.
No, but
Flash Gordon I like too. Like Buck Rogers, that'd be
get Erin Gray back. She's hot. She doesn't have to play the same person. But
was there an older lady in the show? But yeah. Well, they do a Battlestar Galactica for Buck Rogers.
Yeah, except for decent, watchable.
I don't understand why you don't like Battlestar, but
I gotta go release some of the beverage that's percolating in my bladder.
Well, I think we did a filler there.
Well, that about wraps it up. We go from RoboCop to Jack hating Battlestar. Who knew? Hopefully next time it won't be so incoherent. But I doubt it. See you later. Hey, Jack.
Yes, Rob.
I think we're burned out has-beens.
I think so too. Please don't listen to Vinland Old Time Radio at vinlandoldtimeradio.podbean.com.
It's not worth your time.
It's not funny. And it's not.
Not in the least. It's offensive.
It's childish, it's insubordinate, and churlish.